Panicked by a string of cold turkey box office flops, Disney just broke the emergency glass, dumped an obscene $400 million war chest on the desk, and dragged Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers back into the MCU fold like a corporate hostage exchange. It is the ultimate Hail Mary flex, a trailer so dense with nostalgia and fan service memberberries that it functions less like a cohesive cinematic tease and more like a high-stakes multiversal insurance policy. Whether this is a triumphant return to Infinity War glory or an overstuffed panic-induced disaster, one thing is clear: Marvel is terrified, and they are willing to buy back your childhood to survive. So we got to talk about the $400 million panic button here, and the absurd financial desperation. Marvel Studios dropped a blank check, $100 million to secure Robert Downey Jr., $80 million to secure the Russos again, because the brand simply cannot afford another box office misfire, especially an Avengers film. And apparently they cut together like 20 or 30 distinct trailer edits with focus groups. I mean, that sounds ridiculous. When you cut 30 different versions of a 2-minute trailer, you aren't marketing art. You're running clinical trials phase for nostalgia injection. And since they didn't have the foresight like Warner Brothers did with Dune 3 and took up all the IMAX screens for weeks, Disney invented a brand new theater certification just to force audiences into paying marked up IMAX prices on day one. Infinity Vision. What is Infinity Vision? I don't know. How are they going to show it without IMAX screens? I mean, I know AMC has that XL thing, but it seems pretty lame. And they used all this time before to set up Kang, and they had him lose to Ant-Man in that terrible Ant-Man in Quantumania, and then they find out Jonathan Majors is a major scumbag. So I had to smash that multiversal panic button and draft Victor Von Doom overnight, which is probably what they should have done from the beginning. Now, there are things I like about it. I'm a big X-Men fanboy, and seeing them in their original costumes, James Marsden in the blue and yellow, I'm all for it. I am not infallible. I am susceptible to memberberries too and nostalgia, but the trailer looks a little messy. I am a little worried. I mean, it's almost like they're smashing them up into a meat grinder. You've got the Fox X-Men, the Earth 828 Fantastic Four, the Earth 616 characters. You have the X-Mansion Under Siege and Shang-Chi fighting Gambit scenes. I think they kind of exist to trigger social media reaction videos, but I will give it a good nod. Hearing Robert Downey Jr.'s voice in it, he's got like this sort of heavy European cadence. I like that because it shows that Robert Downey Jr. isn't just playing evil Tony Stark in a green cape. But again, he's Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom wears a mask. Are you really gonna keep him behind the mask if you're paying Robert Downey Jr. $100 million? I guess we'll find out. And then Shang-Chi. His movie came out like 5 years ago, and I enjoyed it until, like, you know, the CGI slop ending that most Marvel movies ended with. And there's like this kind of awkwardness to this. I know it's supposed to be like a direct sequel to Endgame, but you have like, he's returning after almost half a decade of radio silence without even any proper narrative buildup. I mean, geez, the first Avengers movie, even though each individual character didn't have their own movie, they appeared in other people's movies. They set that shit up. I mean, there's really no excuse. They were setting up Kang, but Shang-Chi was nowhere to be seen for all these years. It feels like a lot of the cast is just pulled out of cryogenic storage just for the call sheet. I mean, they're doing all this setup. Trailer is the setup for Doctor Doom, not the years they spent with Thanos. So you have to have the obligatory slow down brooding piano arrangement of the classic Sylvester Avengers theme. It's deadly. It's another deadly thing like Infinity War. I'm like, okay, people are gonna die, I know, and then you're gonna reboot the whole universe probably. But then you get a little action from Doctor Doom and Thor. They have to show how powerful Doom is. Thor really messed up Thanos with that axe and even killed a version of him. But Thor tries to do the same thing to Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom takes 2 fingers and stops Stormbreaker. So yeah, this is showing Doctor Doom's power level. It's 11 out of 10, I guess. But I don't want to just crap all over the trailer. I really do want this to be a good movie. I want all movies to be a good movie. But let me look at some of the green flags and the red flags. So Green flags. Russo brothers and McFeely. So whatever you think of their non-MCU filmography, like The Gray Man and Cherry, they have a flawless record with complex multi-line ensemble stories like the last couple Avengers movies. And they know how to construct kinetic pacing out of narrative chaos. And another green flag is just hearing a little bit of Robert Downey Jr.'s voice in this. He's not leaning on his natural charisma or Tony Stark's fast-talking snark. That does not work with the villain. We knew that from Age of Ultron. He's delivering a sinister, accented vocal performance, and it proves he's taken the character seriously rather than just cashing a massive check. And another green flag is just the comic-accurate X-Men integration. Seeing the Fox-era cast finally rocking those vibrant, comic-accurate attire next to the core MCU lineup hits the exact aesthetic sweet spot that fans like me have been waiting for decades. And this does seem like a swan song for the Fox X-Men universe, which I think it deserves. Except for Professor X had like 5 different goodbyes. But some red flags. I think it's just the narrative momentum and setup. It just seems desperate. Infinity War felt like the inevitable culmination of a decade-long narrative arc. Doomsday feels like a reaction to recent stumbles, forcing characters like Shang-Chi back in the fold after years of radio silence without any proper buildup. And like the danger of memberberry sickness. Like it's like the multiversal incursion exists solely to deliver cameo-heavy fight scenes like Yelena versus Mystique without any emotional stakes. I'm afraid the film's gonna feel like a glorified multi-$100 million amusement park ride. But what's the fun of a trailer if you don't just kind of do some speculation and theories, which I think most of these are already figured out. The trailer explicitly established that the multiversal incursions are tearing reality apart, while the heroes waste time and energy and lies fighting each other over their native timelines to rescue their own worlds. Doom isn't just surviving, he's positioning himself as the sole savior of the collapse. And, you know, the scene when Doom stops the Stormbreaker with 2 fingers, it's signaling that you cannot solve this crisis with brute force. So obviously this is a 2-parter like Infinity War and Endgame, so I'm expecting the climax to end with no clean hero victory, but with like the total annihilation of the multiverse, setting up Battleworld for Secret Wars. And talking about Robert Downey Jr. with the Dune mask. I mean, they're paying him $100 million, but I think you can also expect like a psychological twist where his likeness to Tony Stark is weaponized against the Earth 616 characters, driving emotional wedges between Steve Rogers and, you know, maybe Sam Wilson before the mask ever comes off permanently. And look, I don't want to crap all over it. I want this to be good, and I want to be wrong. The Russo brothers have never made a bad MCU film, and Robert Downey Jr. isn't going to turn in a lazy performance from what I can hear. But I'm looking at this footage and I'm just not feeling that electric spark. I mean, I bought tickets the day after opening night because I'm prioritizing Dune 3, because Dune 3 looks like an actual cinematic masterclass. Right now, Doomsday feels like a deeply engineered product designed to save a brand, rather than a story that desperately needed to be told. It feels like it's built for shareholders and the diehards and anyone desperate to feel that 2019 box office magic again. It's an exercise in sheer brute force nostalgia, backed by a $400 million budget in the safest hands in studio history. Whether it ascends to Infinity War greatness or collapses under its own corporate weight, I guess we'll find out together. But what did you think of the Avengers Doomsday trailer? Are you as unhyped as I am? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing. If you want to support the channel a little further, hit that join button down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.